All right. Yay. Oh, wow.
Sure.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Karen Navarro is our guest for today. So I am Ea Torrado. I'm the host of the Dyosa Channel on YouTube, wherein I'm thinking of interviewing key people that I find influential, especially in the Philippines when it comes to wellness, spirituality, self development, and all of that stuff. So Karen Navarro, I've just met her this year here in La Union when she attended one of our workshops. Um, and I'm just so thankful for you, Karen, for indulging us for today, for your time. As we begin, how are you? So, sa lahat, there is big rain and downpour where I am here in La Union. So, I'm gonna mute myself every time I'm not speaking. But, Karen, take it away. Introduce to us your practice and how are you today?
Hi, I'm Karen. I am the founder of Online Healing Community. We started as an initiative to help people stay calm during the pandemic. I was telling Aya earlier that I wasn't in the healing space at all. Prior to the pandemic, I was a nonprofit. I was a meditation student for the longest time. But I really just got exposed to healing, energy healing, and other wellness practices aside from meditation during the pandemic. And one of the tools that I was introduced with and I resonated with was access bars. It's 32 points in the head that when gently touched allows you to release limiting beliefs, thoughts, patterns that you've been holding on. So it allows you to let go of what no longer serves you. And currently I'm very active in bars. Like I've just last February I brought somebody from Lebanon over to teach advanced classes in Access Bars. This November, I'm hosting another one from New York to teach advanced classes because currently in Manila, there are no advanced practitioners or qualified to teach like the advanced classes for Access Bars. But I've been promoting Access Bars in different areas. That's the reason why I went to La Union to teach bars, and we've been to Baguio, Siargao, and different places to teach Access Bars only because it helped me so much and I felt it's something that can help other people also.
Ang galing! Yeah, oh my God. Um, what could a client, expect? What is the process like kapag nag-access bars na session? Are we gonna lie down? Are we gonna sit down? Is there gonna be music? Is there, um, talk us through like the whole session. And
Mm,
what happens if we fall asleep? Yung parang ganyan.
yeah. With access bars kasi, what you'll have to do is really just have to open up to receiving. That's the first thing that it does. Because the founder, Douglas, says that, for you to get healed, for example, actually he's not using healing so much. It's more of a self-mastery tool. It's more of a self-development tool. And he says that the first thing for you is to learn to receive. And so with access bars, you'll have to just lie down and really lower down your walls and barriers and receive. So the easiest way for me to explain it is it's acupuncture less the needles. But with acupuncture kasi, diba, they touch points in your body and it's connected to organs. With access bars, they touch the unaccess bars practitioner touch 32 points in the head. And then it allows you to release thoughts, judgments, considerations about those points. Like for example, there was during a session, one person, because there are different body reactions to a session. So there's one person who's kind of shaking during the session. And there's a point for gratitude, peace and calm. So what the practitioner did was touch that point exactly. While the body shaking, it kind of felt like a person convulsing, something like that. So a client touched the point for kindness, gratitude, peace, and calm, and instantly the patient um basically stopped the shaking. And I understand with personal growth and self mastery, right? Sometimes we look at one trauma and then we heal that because I've also gone through hypnotherapy. I'm a counselor myself. I'm a therapist myself. I've gone through different healing modalities, and I really respect all healing modalities. It's just that healing modalities evolve as well. So what I noted with access bars is because it has evolved, it just came it just started like 30 years ago. So it's earlier than most of the healing modalities. What I noticed based on the last 2, 3 years that I've been practicing and teaching it is that it really allows you to release whatever doesn't serve you. Because the thing is, since I've been teaching it for a long time, there are actually seers who've taken my class, and they're the most interesting students to teach because they know exactly what's going on during a session. Sometimes kasi you don't know what happens after a session. Of course, you feel there's always a feeling of relief from stress and anxiety, and people really sleep during the session. A lot of the patients sleep during the session because it really that's one of the things that an access session does. It relaxes them, and there's a neuroscientist study that shows what happened to the brain. Like the brain of somebody going through an access bar session is something like the what happens to that brain is equivalent to a brain of somebody who's been meditating for 20 years. There's also a physical study that would scan the person's body before the session and after the session. And the scan would show blockages prior, and then after they would see that the blockages have been removed. And initially, and of course these are scientific studies.
Mhm.
But of course I couldn't understand like how does it happen like that, and how fast that happens. I was able to understand it when I was able to work with a seer, because the seer would know exactly what a person lying down was releasing. So there's one, and I've worked with two seers in the last 2, 3 years that I've been practicing, and there was, sorry, maingay sa ano ko. It's kind of noisy here. I don't know, but anyway, there's one seer. Interestingly, what she saw was because her question was, how come she has money problems? How
Mhm.
come she will have a lot of money, but at the same time should spend it right away, and she can't keep the money. So that's her question coming in. For this is access for certification, so we'd have like 4 sessions basically. And what because she was a seer, she's able to see what's being released. She saw her past life, and she saw how she jumped off a cliff for $1,000, and so for her, and then she died in the process. So that the belief there was like, oh, her life was only, and then that's what she said. It's actually not for me. And she said, oh my gosh, I understand now. So my life was only worth $1,000. So I really felt I don't deserve anything more than that. And it of course it was a long process. I'm just concising it now, but that was like the session was supposed to be like a day long session, but we had to like see her again for the next day and the next day and the next day, because that's the thing. When you see a trauma, exactly what's happening, we have to close it and we have to help her resolve it. So that took a while for us to close it. And then there's another seer, and that's the same question again, money issue. Why can't she charge for healing? That's her question. Because sometimes when they come in for certification or for a session, especially the ones who've been experience in the wellness area, they know to hold intention and they have questions. So that's her question. And what she saw was, she saw one of her grandmothers. She was one of the healers during the Japanese era, and she was helping the sisters, during the ones who are sick. But what happened was, she was, sorry, medyo gory.
Mhm.
Napugutan siya ng ulo ng Japanese because she's healing and helping the nuns in a convent. And so since then, it was a family thing. Like the family was discouraged to take medicine, take any course related to medicine. They didn't charge for healing. And so when she was able to figure it out and then release it, of course, that's when she was able to like close that gap. And now she's actually charging for healing. So that's the thing when they see the trauma. That's why, diba, with a lot of the healing modalities like hypnotherapy, counseling, therapy, when you look at the trauma, it takes a while to close it. But for most of the sessions, in access bar sessions, you don't see what you're releasing. You don't see,
Yeah.
and then what happens is there would be changes in behavior. Like for me, I didn't know exact. The only thing that happened to me after an access bar session was I ate outside. But the thing is, I haven't been eating out for the longest time, for the last 12 years. My practice is I only eat food cooked by meditation students. But that, and I realized that that was very limiting for me. But what happened was, because of that single shift in behavior, I was able to get out of a toxic community. At that time, it wasn't not, I guess, I was able to get out of a community that no longer serves me. Like, it was helpful for me at a certain time, but then, yun nga, it's limiting me already. But it's because of that one shift. And so I learned what change happened to me after 9 months of after the bar session. So it's like that. Some people can see it right away. Some people would know after a few months, because the real measure is change in behavior. Like, for some people, right after the bar session, they would change behavior. And now I understand how, because you're able to release it. Sometimes it's not just trauma from this lifetime. Because in a way it's an evolved energy healing modality. It's able to release traumas even from previous lifetimes. And so when you release it, because those are the things that hold us back, the trauma, the limiting beliefs. When you're able to release it, you have space for more, and then you're able to open up to more possibilities for you.
Wow, thank you so much for clarifying all of that. Those are really inspiring stories. And at the same time, I'm excited now. I'm so excited to be in Manila so that I could try a session with you. I mean, the last
Yeah.
time we were planning, but then schedule didn't work out. But
Yeah.
I love that you said that access bars is an evolved energy healing modality. I really agree with you. Like, everything expands and everything evolves. And even as practitioners, I myself, I do tarot, oracle reading. I used to do Reiki energy healing, then evolved more into other energy healing that is more secular. I also do mindfulness meditation and coach people on that. Um, but I feel like it's a natural progression towards our own expansion. That's why we take all of these modalities that eventually either we want to do for ourselves or we want to share. Um, if someone is interested, and I'm only asking this because I also know that from the Dyosa channel, like my online community, um, I not only have clients who are interested in these things, but also in certifying, to be a practitioner, to be a teacher. So, what does it take to, certify to be an access bars practitioner for yourself and also for others? And what's the process like?
Yeah, it's actually very easy to be a practitioner. It's just a 1 day class. So in that class, usually it's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., at least 7 to 8 hours of class. In that class, you'll learn tools for two initially you'll have a discussion. It's a 1 to 2 hour discussion on the tools of access consciousness, who started it, and what can you what can you practice aside from bars? And then in the afternoon, what we usually do is we'll have two gifting and two receiving sessions. So that's a time when you have practicum in a way where you can practice doing access bars on another person, and you can also receive access bars twice. So a certified access bars facilitator will be assisting you and checking and helping you with where to place your hands again. But again, it's a energetic, it's pragmatic, yes, but it's also an energetic process. So it's actually easy. And after a day, you'll be a certified practitioner. And actually, the reason why I'm going around in the Philippines was when I started, I flew from Manila to Davao to take my two classes, because at that time there's very few people in Manila teaching access bars, because you have to have three classes for you to be an access bars facilitator. You have to take three classes from three different facilitators. So I took my first two classes in Davao, and then just one class in Manila. But right now there's so many people teaching bars in Manila, and that's what would like to happen in other communities. That's the reason why I went to Siargao to certify one practitioner, and then another facilitator was with me, so she had another class, or she only had to take one more class, and then she can teach it. Because that's what I noticed. You did say expansive. That's what I noticed with people who've been certified or actually practicing the tools. Because there are people who go to certification, but they don't practice the tools. So there's that difference. But it's really just one day. Take the class in one day, you learn like more than 20 tools, and you learn how to do access bars. And if you really practice the tools, I notice an expansion because number one, what I notice is because they're open to receiving more. Like they always say that the universe is abundant. You can just ask and you can receive. But sometimes we don't believe we deserve what we're asking for. There's one. Or number two, we're not really open to receiving, even if you say it by word, but it's not something that's practiced. And so with the many bars practitioners that I've taught, I see how their lives change. For example, one of the facilitator who helps me a lot is Jack. And he would say that his business grew 5 times because he's usually closing. He's in real estate. So that's the reason why he's doing access bars is not to teach it, but for him, because he believes that if you work on yourself, your whatever you're holding increases too. So if he works on himself, his business increased. So from 8 million a month, his business grew, at least in sales, closing in sales, his business grew 5 times. And so now he and his team is closing 40 million a month on the average. And there's one person, she's a mom, and she has a small business, and she was my classmate during one class, and then during the class she's telling me that her ask is for a 6-figure income. And I was thinking, really? And it's not like in the 200,000 category. And I was at that time I was new in bars, and I was telling her, you can really just ask for that amount. Yeah, I asked for 250,000. Like, weren't you? And I had limiting beliefs at that time. But at that time she has a small business, she has children that she has to take care of, and there are a lot of things in her space. But also during that day while we're having class, she received a confirmation from work abroad, and she got exactly what she asked for. 250,000. Again, it's not something that she's doing to for others. Like, she's not a practitioner with bars, but she's doing it for herself. And she says, you know what? And these are some of the tools that you learn. You really just have to ask and receive it. So those are the stories that really encourage me to teach more, because I see lives expanding. I see people receiving more, asking for more also, and feeling worthy of their ask too.
Ang saya! Um, wow, like, thank you for sharing all of that stories. All of those stories are really, really inspiring. I encourage every single one of you who are watching this YouTube video to please go. All of the links to the classes, the sessions, the certifications that are going to be led by Karen and Online Healing Community are down below in the comments. So please peruse that. Please be there. Um, any I have one curious question. Is this done also via distance, via Zoom, or it needs to be in person?
No, it has to be in person. Because your body has to be touched for you to receive it. Like with acupuncture, right? There are points in
Yeah.
that points that has to be touched. So what you do actually compare. I love all the other healing modalities. I practice all of them also, and I receive them. But with access bars, what happens is you'll really have to be able to receive, you'll have to lie down. And there are other processes when you go to advanced classes when you don't have to see the person and you can facilitate online. But for access bars specifically, the points have to be touched. So if there's somebody telling you that they'll teach access bar certification online, that's not possible. Or if you'll receive access bars online, again, that's not possible because the points in your head had to be touched for it, for you to be able to receive. And also, I realized I've just been talking about money all the time because it's really, well, I guess in the Philippine setting, especially in the healing community, what I notice is a lot of us charge little for our service, or we don't charge at all. And the people who go to access bars classes, a lot of them are in the healing community and wellness field. And so a lot of well, a lot of the expansion are also about money. But aside from money, sometimes it's relationships also. It really depends on your ask. Because with access bars, 32 points that corresponds to body, sexuality, money, relationships, communication. So 32 areas in your life. And I remember there's one practitioner, and he just received access bars for as a gift from an acquaintance. And his pattern was he'd stay in a relationship for a long time until, even if he felt like it's not, like the person doesn't like him anymore. Like basta if he commits a relationship, he stays there. Even if he can leave the relationship. What happened to him was after bar session, when he went home, what he did was he broke ties with a relationship that doesn't work for him anymore. Like he felt like, it's just one way. It's really just me giving in more to the relationship. There's really no give and take. And so he decided, okay, I'll have to cut this. But the thing is, his pattern was for years and years and years and years and years, he just stayed until the other one really breaks off, but he will not be the first one. We'll say that. So that's what I noticed. It's whatever pattern it is that you require. It doesn't have to be just money, whether it's relationship, it's body, it's sexuality, any area in your life that you're open. That's the first thing. That's the thing rin kasi. As with any healing modality, you have to be you have to have your intention and you have to be open to release it. And again, so I would always tell people, yes, there's so many amazing stories from access bars practitioners, but it really depends on you. What are you
Yeah.
willing to receive? What are you willing to release as well?
So I want to clarify. Access bars practitioner is different from access bars facilitator.
Yeah,
Or
because yes, it's different. For
okay,
after a 1 day class, you're an access bars practitioner
practitioner.
already. And after taking 3 access bars classes, that's when you become, well, the first class you pay full price. The second and the third class you just pay half price. And then you just pay certification. That's when you become an access bars
Facilitator.
facilitator. And that's when you can teach access bars. And that's what we've been telling. Well, that's what we're envisioning for the Philippines, because it's big in different countries. It's now in 110 countries all over the world. And there are a lot of tools aside from access
Yeah.
bars. So we'd like people to get access to the tools. And so that's why we're promoting it in
Yeah.
different areas.
And then last question, biglang because these are
Yeah,
also exciting and for me
yeah,
also is new. So
yeah.
why is it called access bars?
Yeah, because it's really literally like bars. Like if you look at the manual, it's like there's QR code. There are bars
Mm.
in your head that correspond to certain areas in your life. Like I told you, there's a bars for money, there's a bar for control, there's a bars for creativity, there's bars for communication. That's why it's called access bars. And access bars is one of the tools of access consciousness. That's why it's access. And access consciousness is a system of pragmatic tools that help people live their best lives. So the first modality that they teach really is access bars. Again, because the founder says that the first thing you have to do is open up to receiving. And then from access bars, there's also access energetic facelift, there's foundation, there's a lot of other classes. But one of the tools that I like to share with everyone that access bars also help you with is the power of the question. So you just continue to ask, like earlier you were saying it's expansive. What can expand my life? What else is possible? You'll hear access bars practitioners saying, what else is possible? How does it get better than this? Because if you continually to ask questions, you open up to possibilities. If something good happens, how does it
Mm.
get any better than this? If something bad happens, how does it get any better than this? Because you open up to possibilities. You don't conclude. If I say my life is perfect right now, that's the end point. You don't move further than that. So aside
Mm.
from the bars, you learn tools like that one, power of the questions. Just continue to
Yeah.
ask questions and expand from there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know
Thank you,
you're
Ea.
with your time. You're so generous with your spirit. I'm so excited to be in person with you and to receive access bars, to meet other practitioners, maybe other facilitators. Salamat for doing this. Salamat for building online healing community and bringing this, beautiful practice in the Philippines. I think a lot of us, need that level of expansion. And since sabi ko nga na, there are many different modalities and it just depends what works for you. And I feel like every modality out there to help ourselves develop and expand is worth the try. And I'm just so glad to hear that many people are really finding benefit from this practice. So, for the people who are watching now, Karen, how can we be in touch with you? What is your next upcoming event, or anything like that? Please send us all the invite.
Right. Yeah. Please go to Online Healing Community. We're on Facebook and IG. You'll find all our events there. But every month we have access bar certifications and access facelift certification. And we're bringing in advanced practitioners from abroad to the Philippines.
Wait lang.
So
Did I hear it right? Access facelift?
yeah, there's access
Oh
facelift.
my God! But,
So they
you
yeah.
have to do access bars first before
No,
you
it's
can
not required. You can do facelift also. So it's an energetic way to rejuvenate your skin and
Wow.
your face. So there's a lot of, it's interesting. There's a lot of tools and under access consciousness. So for August, we have an access facelift on August 19. That's a Saturday in Makati. And August 20, we have another access bar certification. But you can find all the events at Online Healing Community. Check us on Facebook and Instagram. And thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Ea, for this space. Thank you for allowing me to share about access bars and access
Thank
consciousness.
you. Thank you to you.